Tampines programs at your place, and I think whose other house? Yeah, Chandrakant Prabhu's house. Yeah, first time I'm here actually for Krishna Prabhu. Why are you hiding, Prabhu? Nice to see you. So very happy to be here now for the program for Damodara. Such an auspicious month, and we are taking wonderful darshan of Sri Radha Ramanji and Sri Govardhan Shila. Jai, amazing. Jai Ladu Gopal. Jai Sri Yashoda Damodar Ji ki. So let's chant Krishna's names. जय श्री श्री राधा रमन जी की, जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की, जय गिरि गोवर्धन की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय राधा रमन हरि बोल। जय राधा रमन जी की, जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि Many of you are not singing. I'm not hearing anyone. Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Jaya Radha Hari Bol, Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Bol, Jai Radha Raman Ji ki, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Bol, Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hari Bol, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, thank you, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Jai Shri Hari Ram, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. You can rotate it. Yeah, just rotate it to everybody. I don't need it. Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Bol, Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Bol, Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Jai Radha Raman Ji ki, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Giri Govardhan ki Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Mahayajna ki, Jai Shri Shri Radha Raman ji ki, Jai Shri Shri Giri Govardhan ki, Jai Shri Yashoda Damodara ji ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. So we thank you all for coming and joining us today for the program. This is the most auspicious month to remember Krishna. And in this month, whatever that we do for Krishna is magnified so many times over. So many times over. And the greatness of Krishna is that he's so merciful that even if we cannot see Krishna, just by hearing about Krishna, we can actually be able to see him. That is the greatness of Krishna actually. In Bhagavatam it is stated so nicely. I think it is in the third canto, 9th chapter. I think it's 3.9.11 or 3.9.7. It is very nicely stated. Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hritsaroja ashe sutikshita pato nanunata pumsam yad yad diyata urugaya vibhavayanti tat vapu pranayase sad anugrahaya. So Brahma in 3.9.11 of Srimad Bhagavatam, he says for those who are 100%, ye tu tvadiya, right? That's what he says. No, tvam bhakti yoga, those who are performing bhakti yoga, paribhavita ritsaroja. Paribhavita means 100% engaged. If their senses are completely engaged in Krishna consciousness, then the beauty is, just by hearing about Krishna, they can actually see Krishna. So this is the greatness of Krishna consciousness. In normal material world, if you hear someone, it doesn't necessarily mean you can see someone. Because today you got video calls and everything. But generally speaking, if you want to talk to someone, you talk to them. But then you can hear them, but it doesn't mean that they appear before you. Even video calls don't allow you to do that. They're still far away. They have not appeared before you. Only Krishna has that ability to do that to his devotees. Just by now hearing Krishna for 10 minutes, Krishna has actually manifested himself. And he has manifested himself in our hearts. Hrit Saroja. He actually appears in our heart. And our heart is known like a lotus flower. And it is stated that when a devotee chants Krishna's names, the names of Krishna, they go into the ears of the devotees. So it is known as Karna Randrena. In 286 of Bhagavatam, it is known as Pravishta Karna Randrena. It actually goes into the heart of the devotee through the ears, the channel of the ears. And through the channel of the ears, Krishna seats himself on the lotus flower of the loving relationship between the devotee and him. This is found in 285 of Srimad Bhagavatam, 285, right? So it's so nicely stated that when Krishna enters into the heart of the devotee, then what happens is, whatever dirt that is in the heart of the devotee, like perhaps pride, envy, anger, attachment to this material world, they all are washed away by Krishna. Krishna personally cleanses. This is the greatness of Krishna. Pravishta Karna Randrena. He enters into the ear, and on the lotus feet of his relationship, he then establishes himself in the heart and cleanses all contamination in the heart of the devotee. And that contamination, that cleansing, is like Bhagavatam describes like Salilasya Yatha Sharat. It is like autumn rains that have come, and when the autumn rains come after a long season of summer, right, then they are very cooling, and they clean away all the dust that normally summer has, you see. So in the same way, Krishna can cleanse our hearts just by chanting his names. And I think all of us experience that in just a few minutes, how powerful this chanting is. So this is very important. Before that, in 395 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahmaji also says something very interesting. Yetu tvadiya charanam bhujakosha gandham. Gandham means to smell, you know. Jigrante karna vivarai srutivata Krishna, Brahmaji says that those who smell the aroma of your lotus feet, that aroma of the lotus feet that is given by Krishna is carried by the air of the Vedic sound through the channel of the mantra and through the channel of the ear. So you can smell Krishna's aroma of his lotus feet by hearing. You can see him by hearing. Therefore, we don't even need to be able to see Krishna. We can automatically take darshan of him just by chanting his holy name, and we can smell the aroma of his lotus feet just by chanting his holy name. Of course, today we are very fortunate. We can immediately take darshan of Radha Ramanji, and we can all smell the aroma of his lotus feet because of the wonderful offerings, right? You can smell it. It's everywhere. It's the offerings. But even if we don't have that facility, Brahmaji says that is the monopoly of Krishna, to give us his darshan just by hearing about him. And in this pastime of Yashoda and Damodara, that is exactly what Krishna did to Mother Yashoda. He did that. And how did he do that? In the morning when Mother Yashoda woke up on the day of Diwali, she dressed herself up very nicely, and the first thing she did was to remember Krishna. And how did she remember him? She remembered him by starting to churn butter for him. As she started performing her duty and activity for Krishna, her mind was not idling. Her mind was not running around. It was not engaged in mental speculation or idle gossip. Sometimes when we perform a devotional activity for Krishna, externally it may appear like we are performing the activity. And there is some benefit, no doubt. But the difference between a devotee who's advanced in devotional service is that their minds and their hearts are fully absorbed in remembering and hearing about Krishna. So Bhagavatam tells us Mother Yashoda was singing the glories of Krishna. She was not keeping quiet and doing silent meditation on Krishna. No, she was endeavoring for Krishna, so she was dynamic, right? And as she was being dynamic, she was also singing the pastimes of Krishna. You know, when I see my Guru Maharaj's picture, I'm reminded of how he lived his life. Because everywhere he went and whatever he did, we could always hear him either chanting shlokas or he was chanting the harekrishna mantra. And it was always loud enough for him to hear the name and for us to hear the name. And sometimes when he thought that we were just engaged in mental speculation, he would increase his chanting louder. Then we got the message, keep quiet and concentrate on Krishna. Maharaj would wake up at 2 or 1:30 in the morning and he would start chanting his rounds. And then by about 2:30 or 2 o'clock, he would go and take bath. Now, as he was taking his bath, he would be able to chant 4, 5, 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. That was how fast he was able to chant. We would put our heads to the door and keep Bhagavad Gita in hand, and we couldn't keep up with him because that's how fast he was moving. We would turn the pages, but he was chanting and he was bathing. And then when he was shaving, another 4, 5 chapters he would finish, just chanting loudly. And by the time he sat down to do anything else, he was almost 3/4 way through Bhagavad Gita. And he would do all that in the morning. So I'm reminded that this is actually the way of the Acharyas. Mother Yashoda showed that in the pastime. It is very important. She actually was chanting Krishna's pastimes and she was remembering them. And actually the Gopi Geet and Bilvamangal Thakur tell us that this is what the business of the gopis were doing. Vikretu kama kilagopakanya murari pada pitacheta vritti dadyadikam mohavacha vocha govinda damo dharamadaveti grahe grahe gopavadhu kadambe sarve militva samavapya yogam punyani namani patanti nityam govinda damo dharamadaveti. This is what the gopis were doing. They would get all the goods that they had to sell, but they would come to the house in the marketplace, and instead of calling people to buy all this, they would call out the names of Krishna. People thought they were mad, but actually they were absorbed in remembering Krishna. Grahe grahe gopavaddu kadambe. The families, they would come together in each house, grahe grahe. In the evenings, they would gather like we have gathered today in Prabhu's house. And instead of gossiping and trying to talk about things which are not related to Krishna, they would actually be speaking about Krishna's pastimes. So this is very important. I bring this up because what Brahma says just now in the 2 verses is exactly shown by Yashoda Mata. And we must never take for granted the value of using this tongue to chant Krishna's names, remember his pastime, and remember the tongue's best friend is the ear. The ear's best friend is the tongue. They go hand in hand together. If you don't use your tongue loud enough and well enough to chant Krishna's names, your ear will not hear it. If your ear hears very well, your tongue will chant it. So these two we must take very good care of. What the tongue is speaking, the ear will follow. What the ear is hearing, the tongue will speak. And Mother Yashoda mastered that. Sometimes what happens is, in front of everyone we are hearing and chanting. But once everybody goes, in the 4 corners of the wall, what activity we do determines our devotional service. Mother Yashoda was within the 4 walls of a house. The maidservants were all outside. They were not seeing her. They were all busy. But she was not concerned whether she was alone or she was with people. She was just concerned about remembering Krishna. So we must really be honest with ourselves. When we are alone and our husbands have gone to work, or when husbands are alone and the wives are somewhere else in the house, are we wasting our time in idle gossip and philosophical speculation, which means nothing, or are we actually performing activities related to Krishna? Then we will experience bliss. Otherwise, we will not experience bliss. So this is a very important thing. Mother Yashoda was completely absorbed and Krishna reciprocated. He came out and he asked her, please, mother. He couldn't speak, but he was pulling at her sari and he was indicating to her that he wanted to be fed. And Mother Yashoda stopped everything and she fed Krishna. And as she fed Krishna, she felt so much bliss because this was the reward that Krishna was giving her for a lifetime of devotional service. Not one day of devotional service, but a lifetime of devotional service. This is the mood of the Lord and the devotee. And then Mother Yashoda had to put Krishna down because she had to save the milk that was boiling on the stove. And she needed to put him down and she had to run. And therefore she did that. But when Krishna saw that he had done that, he wanted to increase the loving affection between himself and his mother. And so what did he do? He became transcendently angry. By becoming transcendently angry, he reacted. And he felt, how can my mother put me down? Am I not the object of her love? If I am the object of her love, how can she go and get milk and save the milk? She should be giving me milk. This is how children think, isn't it? Very often. They think that, oh, you don't love me enough, or you care for someone else. Children speak like that. Krishna is the perfect child, therefore he spoke like that. And then when he decided that he was very angry, he decided that he will punish his mother. Now, very often mothers and fathers, we tend to be strict with our children, or we have to punish them. But we don't realize sometimes our children also punish us, right? They also have their ways, of blackmailing us, or making us feel very guilty that you did this to me. They're very good at that. And so this is all coming from Krishna, because he's the source of everything. And so Krishna broke the pot of butter that she was working very hard for. And then he stole the butter on top of that and he ran away. When Mother Yashoda came out, she realized that Krishna was the cause of all this destruction. But instead of becoming upset with him, she could not help but smile and think how wonderful this Krishna is and how intelligent he is that he's not standing in front of me. She could see that. See, the greatness of a devotee is that when she or he is placed in a difficult situation, devotees never ever blame anyone else. Very often they see the hand of Krishna. Mother Yashoda did not lose her senses and become angry. Because even though she was attached to Krishna, she also accepted whatever Krishna gave her. You see the point? When we are really attached to the Lord, the symptom of our attachment to Krishna must be that we accept whatever Krishna gives. Mother Yashoda did not complain in Krishna book, so much wasted effort, and now it's all gone. We may do a service and then suddenly someone takes it away. We will think, Prabhu, so much time I spent and they just took it away. We may complain that way, but that shows the immaturity of our devotional service. Mother Yashoda did not consider her hard endeavor that she put in, so much endeavor she put in. She did not consider that endeavor wasted even though the pot was broken. She considered that endeavor to be complete. Why? Because her consciousness during the time of the endeavor was completely on Krishna. And endeavor is complete and perfect when at the time of the endeavor, your mind is on Krishna. But after the endeavor is finished, you have offered the endeavor to Krishna. So the result of the endeavor is no longer in our hands. And therefore, instead of being attached to the endeavor, we become detached from the endeavor. We have done what we can, and now it's up to Krishna. So Mother Yashoda decided, now I have to teach Krishna a lesson, because I'm worried that he will grow up to be a thief. Krishna was already known in Vrindavan Dham as a thief, because even though Mother Yashoda had the best milk, the best cows, the best butter, Krishna was stealing from everybody else's house. And Mother Yashoda was becoming a bit disturbed. What is wrong with my butter? And what's wrong with my cows? And so every day someone would come and complain to Mother Yashoda, Krishna came to my house and he stole butter. And then Mother Yashoda would summon Krishna. And Krishna would come standing in front of her with his mouth full of butter and his hands full of butter. And Mother Yashoda would say, what have you got to say to yourself, for yourself? And he would look at his mother and say, I didn't steal butter. There was butter all over. Padma Puran, the Goswamis describe that actually there was butter all over Krishna, but he had the cheek to say, no, actually I didn't steal any butter. And Mother Yashoda could only smile, and the gopis who came to complain, they also ended up smiling. And they all would go back and Krishna would steal again. Why? Because Krishna was not stealing butter from them. Krishna was stealing their hearts. And that is why they were very happy and very pleased. If you steal someone's heart, you can steal the whole house after that. They don't care. Don't try it here. But you can. I mean, if you steal Prabhu's heart and Mataji's heart, right? Half the prasadam here you can take back. They'll just give it to you, Even if you don't steal, I suspect they will give you lots of prasadam. But the point is this. This is why Mother Yashoda is exalted. Please remember this. In this pastime, one very important point that the acharyas keep telling us is the exalted nature of Mother Yashoda. We should not forget that. She was so exalted because of this symptoms of devotional service. And so Mother Yashoda went into the room where all the pots of milk and butter were kept, because she wanted to catch Krishna. And she brought a stick with her to reprimand Krishna. And in the room, she saw an amazing sight. She saw Krishna's generosity. She saw that Krishna was feeding all his monkey friends, and he was feeding them so much butter. In one sense, Mother Yashoda was thinking, again this boy is stealing. He's stealing butter from his own house, and he's feeding other people. But what she did not realize and could not realize is that Krishna doesn't have to steal anything, because nothing really doesn't belong to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. So when Krishna was giving butter, he was giving that which is part of his creation, but he was giving it lovingly. And the monkeys were accepting it with devotion and love, because the monkeys love Krishna. And the monkeys did not love Krishna because he was feeding them. They love Krishna unconditionally, because these were the same Vanaras who served Krishna when he was Lord Ram in Treta Yuga. Na janmanunam mahato na saubhagam navang na buddhir na krites devahetoho tairyad vrishishtan apino vanaukashash chakara sakye bata lakshmana grajaha. This beautiful prayer is chanted by Hanumanji. And Hanumanji tells Lord Ram that I have no qualification to worship you. Na janmanunam. I have no high birth, right? I don't have intellect. I'm not born of high parentage. I don't have education. Can't speak properly. I speak monkey gibberish. I don't even have a house where I can invite you like we have been invited. I live in the trees of the forest. And every night I stay in one tree. So how to call you and give you prasadam, Lord Ram? I can't even find a place to give you. But despite all my disqualifications, Chakara Sakye Bata Lakshmana Grajaha, you have so kindly accepted me as your dear friend. This was the mood of the Vanaras. And so Lord Ram, at the end of the Ram Leela, gave them the benediction, whatever you want, ask from me. And they said, the only thing we ask is to come back again to serve you. And so in Krishna Leela, these Vanaras came back as these set of monkeys. And they served Krishna, and Krishna served them. But in this Leela, they did not serve Krishna. In this Leela, Krishna edged ahead of them. And he took the butter, and he was doing prasadam distribution. My Guru Maharaj used to say, the first prasadam distribution happened in this Leela only. Right? And the recipients of the prasadam was actually monkeys, not even human beings. They were monkeys, but they were great, great devotees actually. So then Mother Yashoda saw this, but she could not understand the significance of it. But the monkeys saw Mother Yashoda and they left, leaving only Krishna behind. Now Krishna, when he saw his mother, he was always happy to see mother. But he knew what he had done. And when he saw the stick, he started running. He jumped off the mota and he ran away. And Mother Yashoda thought it shouldn't be a problem. Krishna was very small, like the children here. How far can your children run? Isn't it? I'm sure they can run a bit, but eventually you catch them. So Mother Yashoda thought, let me catch. So she tied the girdle of a sari tightly and she started running after Krishna. But the more she ran after the Krishna, the more Krishna eluded her. And for hours, Mother Yashoda ran after. Remember, this pastime starts in the morning. It almost ends in the evening. So you imagine the kind of stamina and the kind of running Mother Yashoda had to do. Actually, on Diwali day, you tend to dress up nicely and you don't, minimum movement, isn't it? You invite guests, they come in and things like that. And Mother Yashoda had so many maidservants. But on this Diwali day, she was made to work harder than the maidservants. She had to churn butter. Then she had to run after Krishna. And later she would try to bind Krishna. They all took so much effort. But she never complained. She never became discouraged. This is the mood of a devotee. Devotee is always prepared to endure anything for the pleasure of Krishna. That's what we must be able to do. That is another symptom of devotional service. So Mother Yashoda tried very hard to catch Krishna, but she could not. What she did not realize, Bhagavatam tells us, is that many, many great personalities like yogis and siddhis are trying to catch Krishna, but they are unable to catch Krishna. Kalayavana in Krishna book was a great demon. And he came at the time when Jarasan was launching his 17th and last attack on Mathura. And he came from the south and Jarasan came from the west and the armies came together. And Balramji thought, let me handle Jarasan's army. And Krishna said, I will handle Kalayavana. So Kalayavana came to kill Krishna. Krishna came out and dropped all his weapons and started walking. This is the Rancho Rai pastime. As he walked towards Kalayavana thought, oh, so he wants to wrestle. He dropped his weapons also. But instead of stopping here to fight, Krishna walked just past him and started walking really fast away. So Kalayavana looked and said, this is the great personality of Godhead Krishna. He is a first-class coward. No problems. I will chase after him and I will catch him. But just before Kalayavana could catch Krishna, Krishna would be 500 meters ahead. Just before he could catch him, he'll be 200 meters ahead. And then Kalyavana saw Krishna enter a dark cave. And Kalyavana thought, now Krishna is doomed. Because where there is darkness, these demons become very powerful. And they can see, they got night vision in the cave, so no problems for them. So he entered the cave and he thought he could see Krishna. And he saw in the middle of the junction of the cave a figure lying down in a shroud. And then Kalyavana started laughing. This coward Krishna runs away from me. And then he's very scared in the cave. He puts a shroud over him and he lies down. And he kicked the figure. And the figure woke up, but it wasn't Krishna. It was the great king Muchukunda, who had been sleeping for such a long time because he had worked very hard for the devatas, and they gave him the boon that you can sleep. I like this boon actually, because he could sleep for years and years and years. Such a nice boon, nothing to worry, just sleep. But Muchukunda's prayer when he was given this benediction is that whoever wakes me up, I should have the darshan of Krishna. That's his point. But now he woke up and he took darshan of all things, the demon Kalyavana. So he became very upset. And with a single syllable, powerful yogic mantra, he just decimated Kalyavana into dust. Nothing. And just behind Kalyavana, he took darshan of Krishna. See how Krishna puts all the pastimes together. He's very expert at doing 2-3 different objectives in one stroke, His multitasking is transcendental. Our multitasking is hopeless, but his is just amazing. But the point here is, demons are trying to catch Krishna, but the result of it is destruction for them. Why? Because in the cause of trying to catch Krishna, their mood is not devotion. Their mood is pride, false ego. They want to be victorious over Krishna. Mother Yashoda's mood was not to be victorious over Krishna. She was running after Krishna like a servant would run after the master. Even though she was a mother, in her heart she wanted to serve Krishna. Serve Krishna. The motherhood of Yashoda is exalted because of her service mood. And so when Krishna saw that, he became bound. Because in her heart, she said, Krishna, I can't catch you. That is the humility of Yashoda Mata. Kalyavana never said that, Krishna, I can catch you. And therefore, he couldn't catch. But Yashoda Mata admitted, I can't catch you, Krishna. Please slow down. I need to catch you now. And Krishna allowed himself to be caught. Not only was he caught, Vaktram Niniya Bhayabhavanaya Stitasya, 1.831 of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is stated there by Kunti Devi that Krishna, who is feared by fear personified, was fearful of Mother Yashoda. This is Krishna's mercy on her. And Mother Yashoda saw Krishna being fearful, and she immediately put the stick down and said, Krishna, I'm not going to do anything to you, but I need to discipline you. And so, when Mother Yashoda caught Krishna, she brought him to the mortar, and she took the rope, and she said, I'm going to bind you. But the only problem was, again for the third time in the day, she couldn't bind him. Because no matter how much she tried with the ropes, it was always 2 fingers short. And these 2 fingers short continued, despite getting so much of feet of rope. She had so much of rope put together. The gopis around, they also contributed the ropes. But despite all the ropes coming together, she could not bind Krishna. Because Krishna cannot be bound. Krishna is Swarat. He is independent. You cannot bind Krishna with anything but unmotivated and undivided, uninterrupted love. That is the value of Krishna. And therefore, Mother Yashoda then gave up. She gave up. And she said, Krishna, please allow yourself to be bound. And Krishna allowed himself to be bound. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has no end and no beginning, who is the master of material manifestation and spiritual manifestation, who is above the 3 modes of material nature, who is responsible for creation, maintenance, and annihilation, who is feared by all the denizens of this material world, who is respected by all 3 worlds, whom demons are fearful of. He became fearful of Mother Yashoda, and he agreed to be bound by her. How much mercy did Krishna give? Why? Because Mother Yashoda endeavored, and she endeavored sincerely, without consideration of material hopelessness or defeat. This is the mood of a devotee. The 2 inches represent endeavor and the mercy of Krishna. If we don't endeavor, mercy is there, but it is not attracted. If we endeavor, but there's no mercy, it is pointless. The demons are endeavoring after Krishna. Hiranyakashipu did great endeavors for austerity, but he could not attract the mercy of Krishna because the mood was different. But Mother Yashoda could attract the mercy of Krishna because her mood was devotional. She has nothing for herself, no gain, no pride, no arrogance, just humility. That is why Prabhupada said very nicely, the kingdom of God is open to those who are humble and those who are meek. This is the same thing Jesus Christ says in the Bible. The kingdom of God is available to those who are humble and those who are meek, not those who are prideful and those who are egotistical. And this is Mother Yashoda. And so Mother Yashoda achieved the highest perfection of binding the Lord on the basis not of the rope, but on the basis of her devotional service. And so she left, leaving Krishna alone. But Krishna cannot be alone and he cannot be bound. So eventually he decided to move. Krishna, like a little child, was restless. And so he started crawling, and the motor moved with him, except that it turned and it rolled with him. And as if he was random, like a child is random, he started going to the end of the garden of Nanda Maharaj's courtyard. And he went between two Yamal Arjuna trees, very powerful, great trees. And when he went between the trees, the motor got stuck. But Krishna is extremely powerful. He is Balavantam. He is the source of everyone's strength. And so with a little push, the trees came crashing down. And when they came crashing down, they were not merely trees. They were revealed to be the two sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvara. And Krishna said, what are you two doing here? And they revealed to him their story, which began thousands of years ago. They were very, very saintly personalities, because anybody born into the Devatas family are supposed to be saintly. But because they were born into luxury and riches, they became proud. And filled and intoxicated with pride, eventually they lost sight of devotional service. And because of bad company, they became intoxicated and wasted their time. One day they were in a lake, dancing and sporting with the ladies, without any clothes on, drunk and inebriated, when Narada Muni, the great devotee of the Lord, passed by. And when he passed by, to their surprise, he saw them and they saw him. But they were so intoxicated, they came out without any clothes, and they just stood in front of him, intoxicated. Narada Muni was very sad to see the two boys' condition. And out of compassion, he said, what is the purpose of human life? Where do you think the human body has come from? Do you think it's come from your father or your mother? Or do you think it has come from the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Do we believe that this body came from our parents? Or do we really understand that this body is a boat? It's a perfect vehicle to bring us from the shores of material nature to the shores of the spiritual kingdom. So Narada asked many questions. He said, to whom does this body belong, my boys? Does it belong to you? If it does, you should be able to keep it forever, but you don't. Does it belong to your parents? If it does, they should be able to keep your body forever, but they die before you. Does it belong to nature? If it belongs to nature, nature should keep it. But the body disintegrates, and even nature cannot keep that. Therefore, to whom does the body belong? See what a nice point he asked. And he said that now I shall make you trees. Better you become trees because your consciousness is so dull and you don't like clothes anyway. Trees don't have clothes, right? So no problems, don't wear dhoti kurta, just become tree. Now when he said that, they came to their senses. They were awakened. Now Bhagavatam tells us they were not awakened because they heard that. They were awakened because of the powerful preaching of Narada Muni. Very important. A pure devotee can stir within the hearts of even the most clouded personality the seed of devotional service. And so they asked that, please give us some discount on your curse. And so Narada said, I have a discount, it's all ready. The discount is, my prayer is, even if you become trees, I pray that one day Krishna will deliver you from your ignorance. And so that was the statement of the pure devotee. And the statement of the devotee never proves false. And Krishna has one quality to him. He is Harina Bhritya Vashyata. Harina Bhritya Vashyata. He is completely subordinate to his devotees. This very nice point. In the 10th canto, 9th chapter, 18th and 19th verse, or 19th and 20th verse, In one of these verses, Krishna actually is described as this quality. The attribute of Krishna is that he is always trying to be subordinate to the interest of his devotees. And now he became subordinate to Narada. And so now he arranged, see the multitasking Krishna. In this pastime, he arranged that after satisfying Mother Yashoda, he will deliver these two boys, not because they deserve to be delivered, please remember that, but because Narada had prayed for them to be delivered. So please remember, even as we sit before Radha Ramanji and we wind down the pastime today, don't forget that somebody's mercy and prayer is the reason why you and I are sitting here today. Somebody's mercy. Some great soul somewhere in the world, maybe Singapore, maybe Pune, maybe Dwarka, Rajkot, I don't know, somewhere, some prayer, some merciful soul prayed for us, and today we are here. And this is coming because of the devotees' mercy. So this Damodar pastime is balanced between two very important concepts. The mercy of the Lord, which was given to Mother Yashoda, but towards the end of this pastime, there is the mercy of the devotee, which is as equal to the mercy of the Lord. In the beginning of the pastime, the mercy of the Lord is very high, and the devotee is the recipient, Mother Yashoda. But by the end of Nalakuvara and Manigriva's pastime, the mercy of Narada Muni makes this beautiful balance between the Lord and the devotee, such that we also end the pastime by remembering, if the Lord is merciful, how much merciful must his devotee also be? If not more. Bhaktai Bhakta Jana Priyaha. He is so devoted. And so these two boys, Devarishi Priyatamo, because Devarishi Narada is dear to me, I am delivering both of you. Frankly speaking, I have nothing to do with you. What a statement to make for Krishna. Krishna says, look, I have nothing to do with you. Supposing you want to, get something from some prime minister or something. Prime minister doesn't know you, but you know his PA, for example. Because of the PA, Prime Minister says, hey, I'm not bothered about your file. But because you know the PA, the file becomes important, right? Many years ago in Rajkot, we wanted to settle our matters of the land. And we wanted to see the collector. Couldn't see the collector because he was a big man. Every time we went there, we had to wait for hours, we went back. One day in the temple, as we were doing program, we finished the program and one person came to us. And he said, I love the programs. I was very touched by the program. Then we asked, who are you? He said, my name is Mr. Trivedi. I said, thank you. Welcome to Rajkot. Welcome to the temple. He said, I'm actually the PA to the collector. And I thought, my God, this is what we're waiting for, isn't it? And I said, Trivedi ji, we are trying so hard to see the collector. He said, why didn't you tell me? I said, I didn't know you existed even. Now I know, I'm telling you that. He said, tomorrow, Monday, you just come. See me 11 o'clock. And so we came there on Monday. We saw this big queue that was there. Trivedi came out, told us, come, there's a back door. There's always a back door, isn't it? And so he took us right through the back door. And within few minutes, we were seated. Collector said, oh, you're a friend of Trivedi. He's such a gentleman. Because of him, I don't know you. But because of him, I'm happy to help you. And then years later, when I read Krishna book, I thought, my God, this is exactly what's happening here. Krishna saying, I don't know you at all. But someone prayed for you. So by Krishna's mercy, this man manifested himself. And within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, collector said, I'll take out the file, I'll give you priority. And he did what he had to do. So this is the greatness of devotees. They can cut through all the long channels, the red channel. We don't want to go through red channel, isn't it? We have to declare many things. They take us through the green channel, right through it, all the way. And therefore, never underestimate the greatness of the devotee. And that great devotee could be the devotee sitting next to you. Never take anyone for granted, because we don't know whose prayer is helping whose prayer is saving us. Therefore, everybody's prayer is essential. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Yashoda Damodara ji ki, with thy Gaura Premananda. And just look at Giri Govardhan today. It's so beautiful. He is known as Hari Darsha Varya. He is known as Hari Darsha Varya. That means he is the greatest servant. Greatest servant. In Bhagavatam 10 canto 21st chapter, I think the verse is 19 or 18, it is stated so nicely there that Hantayam, right, Adibri, then it is stated Hari Darsha Varya. He is the greatest servant of the Lord. And in that shloka, it is so nicely stated there, I know it's 21st chapter, I can't remember the verse, I'll find it for you. But in that verse, he's praised. Shukadev Goswami, no, the gopis praise Govardhan. And they say that Govardhan, he is the greatest devotee of the Lord. Do you know why? Because he gives shelter to all the animals, all the gopas, all the gopis. He gives shelter to all of them. In rain, shine, Govardhan is always giving. He has caves on Govardhan Hill. They are beautiful caves. And in that cave, the boys, when it's very hot, they go there and rest. When it's raining, they go there and take shelter. Govardhan has beautiful water that feeds the cows, the animals, the boys when they're thirsty. When they're hungry, he has so much fruits for them. Cows, and they can forever graze. 18, is it? 10, 21? 18, huh? How nice it is. Can you just read that, Prabhu? Let's just hear that before we end. The translation.
Of all the devotees, this Govardhan Hill. Of all the devotees, this Govardhan Hill is the best. Oh my friends, this hill supplies Krishna and Balram, along with their cows, and cowherd friends, with all kinds of necessities. Water for drinking, very soft grass, caves, fruits, flowers, and vegetables. In this way, the hill offers respects to the Lord. Being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram, Govardhan Hill appears very jubilant.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. See, this is the greatness of Giri Govardhan. 10, 21, 18, na, Prabhu? 18. What a beautiful verse. We should learn this verse. And we should learn it because now 2nd November is Govardhan Leela and Govardhan Puja. So give yourself homework. From today till then, learn 10, 21, 18. And when you take darshan of Govardhan in the center, you chant this to Govardhan. Don't have to say it loudly. Nobody needs to hear you except Giri Govardhan. But you chant it to him. And you will be glorifying him, and he will give you so much of shelter, like he gave shelter to all the residents of Vrindavan. Jai Giri Govardhan. Shall we now chant this beautiful Damodara Ashtakam and offer prayers to the Lord? That will be very nice. Let's do that. Everything is ready, Prabhu? No? Okay, good. Let's chant. By the way, are there any questions? Any doubts? Any clarifications? Any nice experience or realizations? Vallabh, are you okay? No? Okay, very quickly he said no. Anybody else? All good? Very nice.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, please.
when the monkeys ran, where did Balaramji go?
When the monkeys ran, where did Lord Balram? Well, actually, if you look at some of the paintings, you find that there are paintings where Krishna and Balram are there. There are some paintings that we have seen. But actually, in the Leela, we only see Krishna. We don't hear of Lord Balram. The focus is not on Lord Balram. It is where Krishna is there. Krishna is there. Krishna is being chased. If you read the whole Leela carefully, you don't hear the presence of Balramji. So the focus is on Krishna. Balram could have been there, because I have seen paintings that were commissioned by Srila Prabhupada that actually shows the two brothers breaking the pots, and therefore sometimes devotees say, perhaps in the Puranas it is stated that Lord Balram is there. But I know that when you read Krishna book, the whole focus is on Krishna, right? Prabhu, anything you can add to that?
So I read it one place
Uh-huh.
that Balram and Rohini
Yes.
were invited by Upananda
Okay.
same day for lunch. So she gets on a chariot and she and Balram goes to Upananda's place.
And therefore they are not there.
Yeah, so otherwise Rohini would have definitely intervened.
Very nice point. So in Prabhu says that Lord Balram was conveniently not there because he went to have prasadam at Upananda's house with Mother Rohini. So the pastime concentrates on Krishna. No? Thank you. Let's start chanting. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Rasakundalam Gokule Brajamam. Devotees can come forward. Matajis? Maybe the ladies can come forward. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupa Radharupam Dasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Biyolukaladhava Mahanam Paramrishtahamadhyam Tato Dhutya Bhutya Rudantam Muhurnetrayutmam Vijantam Karamboja Yugme Nasatam Kanetam Muhu Swasakanta Trirekha Kakanta Sthita Graivam Dama Daram Bhakti Bhagam Jai Damodara Ji ki Iti Swalila Veerananda Kundi Swagosham Nimajam Tamakya Kayantam Padiyeshitaneshu Bhaktai Jitadvam Puna Premahastam Sam Sata Vritti Vande Moksham na mokshavadim va Nachanyam rineham varishadapiham Idam teva purnata gopala balam Sada me manasya virastam kimanye Jai Balagopal ki Idam te mukhambojam atyanta nilay Kritam kuntalay snigdha raktaischa bhotya Muhuschumbitam bimbaratadaram me Manasya virastam alam lakshalahave Damodara Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukha Jalabdinabhyam Jai Damodara Ji ki Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Dinam Batani Grahane Shamama Nyamedakshi Drishaya Jai Vrindavan Dham ki Majau Badda Mutyaiva Yadha Vayamo Chitau धाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदराय विश्वस्य धाम्ने हरि हरि नमो राधिकायाय त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो नन्तलीला देवाय तुभ्यं श्रीमती राधा रानी की नमो राधिकाय त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो नन्तलीला देवाय तुभ्यं हरि हरि नमो राधिकायाय त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara. Jayo Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan. Jaya Vrindavana Dham, Vrindavana Dham, Vrindavana Dham, Jaya Vrindavana Dham. Jaya Radha Ramana, Radha Ramana, Sri Radhe. Jayo Radhe, Jayo Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jai Shri Shri Damodara Leela ki, Jai Shri Yashoda Mata ki, Ananta Kori Vaishnavrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Thank you very much to Charan Prabhu, Balakrishna Prabhu, Pratha Daishni Mataji for hosting all of us here. And thank you to all the Tampines devotees for coming together. It's so nice to see all of you. Remember, every year we are coming together. The real question for us is, what are we giving up every year? What advancement are we making every year? Are we still in the same position as we were last year? Are we chanting more? Are we reading more? Are we changing anything about our lives? Is there any improvement that we are taking year after year? Or are we just doing what we can, just cruising along? That's the real question for us. If you come for these programs, the aim is not just to float. The aim is finally to perfect your devotional service. Otherwise, the programs can very easily become rituals. What is the point of doing something when there is no value in the transformation of yourself? Then there is value to what we are doing. Otherwise, it is a ritual. Something you do every day, like brushing your teeth. Nobody wants to perfect the art of brushing your teeth, isn't it? We all think we're just brushing our teeth. But devotional service is like that. What are we doing to improve our devotional service? That will attract the mercy of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.